Speaking of broken operators, Iana and Oryx. There's something. What do you guys think?
Um, okay. Shall I go
Sure,
first?
go ahead.
Or
Yes. I need to think.
okay. My first thought when I got to play them about a week ago, and very first initial thoughts was okay, low barrier to entry to actually understanding and utilizing them. For you said you had Epi give your presentation, and he was talking about content for all of the community. Yeah. Something I like about these two new operators is whilst they will obviously work best in tandem playing with a team, actually your average player is going to quickly understand and be able to utilize them, even if they're not utilizing them to full effect. So if we're talking about someone like Callie, she's a difficult operator to use. You talk about operators just, by virtue of the fact that she's running around with a sniper rifle. You talk about an operator like Valkyrie. A lot of people that don't have the map knowledge, the 200 hours that Ironic talked about, are often worried about picking an operator like Valkyrie because they don't know if they're putting the cameras in the right place. So actually, they just avoid. But these two new operators, I think, for the average or below average player like myself, can just immediately understand, right, okay, we've got a guy that can go up hatches. I understand now that I can rear flank people. Oh, right, we've got an operator that can just stand still somewhere safe and I can release a hologram of me and run in and get a good look. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to it, playing, if you're a diamond level player. But I like that aspect of these two operators where actually you're going to be able to use them at all levels. I actually feel that both of them have the potential to be very good operators. Obviously, time will tell. It's always quite difficult when two new operators are revealed to, immediately assess their impact. But I can kind of see the new attacker not being an entry fragger, but accompanying one. Because, like this whole concept of refragging.
Yeah.
It's sort of like you're refragging off a hologram. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Absolutely. So you've lost a hologram, but they've actually lost an operator. Mm-hmm. So you could see an Ash following the hologram in, a couple of seconds behind and picking up that intel, then taking out the defender. And then with regards to the new defender, what's he called?
Oryx.
Oryx? Yeah. Yes. So when Amaru was revealed, I was mildly disappointed that it wasn't a defender that could go up hatches, because I think about 2 years ago I talked about how I would like to see this operator in the game. And I think it was at a time when I was watching like Pro League Consulate with Skies and Laxin playing on Consulate and just like rotating round as these two roamers, and I was thinking, God, how cool would it be if you could go up hatches and surprise people? So I really like both of these new operators, more so than a season in the longest time. I feel I will actually use both of these. An interesting thing to tell you about the defender, I did some really quick testing because obviously with capture sessions, you only get a few hours. And obviously everyone's there to capture content with the new operators, but sometimes towards the end, you get like a 20-minute window to test them out. And one thing, I was just testing him coming through hatches and what the counters were. So with the Nomad air jab, you know how he can hang from a hatch and look around, whack-a-mole style, before you hit him. So with the Nomad air jab, it doesn't affect him. He has to climb through before it affects him. But the Claymore, the second he gets there, he's dead.
Interesting.
So that's the actual hard counter to him. But no,
it's gonna be a jump scare.
Yeah. I like these two new operators, I must say. Weird though, he doesn't have a gadget, right? Zeronic. He's just a brute force.
He's just in shape.
Yeah, he's properly.
He didn't skip.
I don't know if you've noticed on the back, he has like a little camel bag where it says R on. I'm pretty sure it's roids. I'm pretty sure it's full
He's
of that.
He's done a few pull-ups in his time, that's for sure.
Host testosterone straight in. Iana seems like a budget Twitch. So you get to use the hologram. It's a glorified drone. It relies on the enemy team making a big mistake, right? They might see forward, they might see it on cam and do something drastic that they shouldn't have. But one bullet and it's gone. You can't really hide it anywhere. No one else can utilize it. It's just you. The vision is only you. Her guns aren't super impressive. They're not amazing. They're not bad. The ARX is great, but it's 20 bullets, and you basically have to reload after every fight. G36, fine gun, nothing special, but she brings very, very little to the team. If it wasn't for her having nades, I wouldn't even consider her. She's fun to play, which is super important. But in almost every case, I'd rather bring a Twitch. Because that way, the same things that I see, I can at least destroy or remove. Seeing as Iana doesn't trigger any traps and still gets messed up by touching a battery or a mute jammer or hit once with a Maestro Cam, right? It doesn't do a lot. I tested yesterday and were able to like fake plant with her, which that was great. Like I got people to just yeet C4s at me all day, which immensely strong, but that will not work for long.
How did you do that? Did you just crouch?
Just run in, crouch, look down on the floor, and sit still.
That's great.
And I just hope they mess up, right? I get people to throw smoke grenades at me and stuff like that, but it's kind of the alibi tricking. Alibi tricking works against little lower skill, but at higher level, there's no point in ever trying because I'm shooting every alibi I see, no matter what, because you don't have a choice, right? I can't gamble if it's a player or not. So you end up using her more as a warning system than anything else, putting her in front as like an obfuscation of looking into a room, and then you can peek on the sides of it and get a real-time ping or use it to see for other people, whatever. Oryx, though, I think his two strongest things is that he can jump through a hatch. That's really big, but he brings no utility. And then the fact that he can absolutely destroy Montaigne.
Yeah.
If you know a team is bringing Montaigne, you just bring Oryx.
Yeah.
And you sit on site and you just wait. And when Monty Boy comes, you just throw him so far back into the other room that he's reconsidering ever playing Monty again, right? He's amazing at that. But there's like a lot of things have to line up for you to truly get the value out of Oryx. It's great that you can jump through a hatch, but it's only you.
Right.
So you need to get some actual value out of that, right? Like let's say you're playing Bank and you make it up to open an area hatch and you bypass the Claymore and the stairs and the air jabs, the people covering it. And now you can play the after plant from above instead. That would be a pretty big thing. But you have very little value until then. The MP5, decent gun, but it's not like a killing machine, right? Especially when you don't have a ACOG on it. Spaz 12, yeah, it's all right, but you're probably gonna play him with the Bailiff and the MP5. Mm-hmm. I think he's fun to play, but I think he's hard. It's difficult to justify him in a setup. The fact that he can run through walls doesn't mean anything, in my opinion. It's 10 HP. It's 10 damage every time you do it.
You don't see him and Doc. That's what people are saying. Him and Doc.
I mean, bring a shotgun.
Yeah.
Why not? You want to use a stim pistol? Have him open up all these walls? Great, but if people really wanted to open that much, they just bring. You can bring Castle and Mossy now, and you have two super shotties, and it costs you nothing. And I don't want to waste a stim on that. I could waste that stim on someone bandit tricking, right? So they can't get grenaded. Or overheal so someone can run past the Claymore.
Or a spawn peak.
Or a spawn peak, yeah. I don't know. I find it hard to justify him in a 5-man setup where I want intel, I want some soft destruction, preferably for a shotgun, whatever, to open hatches. He does bring the Bailiff, so that's something. But the fact that he can run through walls, you're basically Echo Drone when you do it. So it's not that good to use in combat. You'd be better off using an impact nade. Then you can shoot right away. And you can do it from distance. Because he's committed, right? Like once you make a hole,
and he's like stunned,
you got both hands in your pockets.
There's like a visual impairment and stuff,
It's exactly like getting hit with a drone. Like your entire screen's just shaking, and it takes a while to pull your gun out. It's like ammo-ing, I guess.
Yeah.
When you go over hatch, right?
Yeah.
You can't do much when that happens, and it's loud. It's really loud. At least with an impact nade, it could have been something, right? But with him, you know what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's left quite vulnerable as well. It takes a moment, right, to get your weapon back up when you do the ball charge or whatever it's called. So the one thing that I immediately thought, and we were testing this out, I was sat there with grief drums and my friend Rich during the capture session, and the thing that we immediately tried was knocking someone down, then immediately spam the melee, and it does work. You don't even need to wait for your weapons to come back up. So if you knock down a Montaigne, you need to be smacking the melee button on your keyboard, and you'll see, like I've got a kill cam of it. You see, you just immediately, not immediately, but very quickly swipe them and take them out. So that's the play with him, I think, if you do knock someone over.
I echo a lot of the same things that you guys mentioned. So I'll just try and think of, as far as my thoughts on the new operator, some things that in addition, as far as Iana, how about this? I haven't heard anybody mention this yet, but I think this is true, and I think this is needed. Iana is a counter to Mozzie, because a Mozzie, a mute jammer will stop her hologram, but a Mozzie pest will not. So if you need to get information behind a doorway that a Mozzie pest is denying, and you don't have an EMP or any other way of getting rid of it, you could send a hologram in and get that information that a drone normally would, and not have to worry about that pest. So that's one kind of cool thing, because Mozzie is in the meta right now. The mute Mozzie combo, that's strong right now. So that's kind of one thing that I've thought of. I just think with Iana, it's all like, if you are using her hologram by yourself, it's really no different than a drone. And in fact, in some ways could be weaker than a drone. At least a drone, you can leave it sit on a cupboard and it can stay there for the entire round, and your teammates can spectate it. And in a lot of ways, you'd rather have a drone. However, when you are using it in combination with another player and working together, you think about you send your hologram in, you've got the Ash coming right behind it. That Ash is going to not only get the call out from you saying where the enemy is, they're going to get an audible call out from when the enemy shoots the hologram as well. Not only that, but you would think that the person, if they're not smart, at least at this phase, what I'm seeing a lot, because it's happened already, person shoots the hologram and then instantly reloads. And then your Ash is now getting into a gunfight with a person who's in reload animation. That won't happen for long. And that shouldn't happen with good players right now, but it is happening right now. I've seen it a couple times. So the other thing I'll mention with Iana is that she is allowed to get information in a part of the round where sometimes you don't have drones. Like, say the last 30 seconds of a round on an attack, you're getting ready to enter a thermite hole. A lot of times in that situation, you've already used your drones. Maybe one's on the other side of the map, the other one got shot. Now with her, you pull out the hologram, you get information that's really valuable, really quick. I think that could be really strong. Information in this game is one of those things that just like keeps getting stronger and stronger. So I do think that she seems a little boring to play. It almost just feels like her hologram should do something else, but I understand why it doesn't. I think that she's not going to be boring to play because you're going to see success off of her, but it's not like I activate my gadget and this cool thing happens. It's like I activate my gadget and I help out a teammate. And that's a little bit different.
That might come down the road though.
Yeah.
If in 6 to 12 months, if her pick rate or presence is very low, there is if she really is dire, then they could add the ping.
Yeah, if they add the ping 2.0, that would change her dramatically. As far as Oryx, I mean, not really anything to add. I think that Oryx is amazing. I just think that the big thing that screams at me with Oryx is that attackers now have to worry about defenders coming from areas that they never had to before. And I think that is really cool. Like if you think about taking top floor on admin, well, you don't even have to think top floor. Let's say consulate. If you're defending garage, attackers take control of the top 2 floors. You air jab out Visa stairs, you air jab out spiral stairs, and then you have control of yellow stairs. You pretty much know at that point defenders are not coming upstairs. Not anymore. You've got the Oryx in servers. He opens one of the hatches. He comes up into, I guess it would be Visa there, and then comes around that way. That changes a lot. It really does, and I'm really excited to see. As somebody whose name is Get Flanked, Oryx kind of, I relate.